Hey, do you ever feel like no matter how hard you try, you just can't get to where you want in life? You have the vision, the passion, and those dreams that won't leave you alone, but somehow, no matter how much you push, grind, or try to stay positive, it feels like something invisible is pulling you back. Like you're hustling through life with your hands tied behind your back. You're moving, but you're not getting anywhere. Let me tell you the truth. It's not your lack of discipline. It's not your past. And no, you're not incapable. It's something deeper, something you inherited, something programmed into you long before you had a choice. Hi, my name is Christy. I'm a board certified nurse practitioner, health coach, and trauma survivor. This is Trauma Free, where I help you change your mind and change your life, just like I did. And today, I'm going to show you how to disconnect from inherited beliefs and subconscious programming that have been secretly shaping your thoughts, your choices, your self-worth, and even your identity. Because once you see the code, you can rewrite it. Let's start with something that might blow your mind. Your thoughts, most of them aren't even yours. In fact, over 60% of our daily thoughts are repetitive, and a huge chunk of them are rooted in fear-based conditioning. Where do they come from? Your childhood, your culture, your parents, your teachers, even society's expectations. Basically, you're most likely walking around stuck in patterns of self-doubt, fear, or shame that are not even your beliefs. They were installed in your mind without your conscious consent. This is what I call your programmed self, and it's sneaky because it doesn't feel like programming. It feels like the truth. Imagine your mind like a playlist that was built for you, not by you. And every time you try to make a bold move or choose a new path, that playlist hits repeat. And you hear in your mind, you're not ready. You can't afford to fail. You have to stick to what you know. This is where cognitive dissonance comes in, a theory by psychologist Leon Festinger, who suggested we cling to old beliefs even if they hurt us, just to avoid the discomfort of change. Think about this. Let's say you feel stuck in a toxic job. It's draining, it's not aligned with who you are, and your body's screaming for something new. But a voice inside says, I can't leave. I've invested so much into this job, and I've worked too hard just to give up. That voice, it isn't you. That's your programming. I've been exactly where you are. After years of grinding to become a nurse practitioner, I had a crossroads when my heart kept pulling me towards health coaching, towards healing beyond prescriptions. And I'll be honest, that terrified me. Who was I to help people without medications? Wasn't that my whole training? But here's what changed everything. When I trusted my own healing journey enough to guide others, I discovered something extraordinary. If I could transform without meds, so could my clients. And the moment you realize that, you reclaim your power to choose something else. Let's rewind to childhood for a second. Remember that one thing you loved but got shamed for liking? Maybe it was choosing strawberry ice cream when everyone else preferred chocolate. Or maybe you loved math when someone said girls don't do numbers. Or maybe you would daydream about art while your family pushed you towards a more traditional and respected career. Guess what? That tiny moment wasn't about dessert or hobbies. It was your first identity theft. Now fast forward to now. You might be working a job that someone else approved of, dressing how someone else thinks you should, or living out values, beliefs, and habits that were never truly yours. And all this time, you've been wondering, why am I so exhausted? Why do I feel so disconnected from myself? It's because you've been cosplaying as the version of yourself that felt safe, not the one that felt real. You didn't choose this identity. It was downloaded into you. And now, it's time to uninstall programs that are trying to take over your system. Alright, so now that we know most of our thoughts are inherited and not truly ours, how do we let go of what's not really a part of who we are? Well, here's the good news. Modern psychology and neuroscience have given us actual tools that work. I call this approach the science of letting go because real healing shouldn't be some mysterious process. If it works, there should be a solid science behind it and you should actually see results. Step 1. Audit your identity. Let's begin with 3 deceptively simple words. Write down 3 I am statements. Examples would be I am always anxious, I am the strong one, I am terrible with money. Now pause and ask yourself, did I choose this belief or was it assigned to me? Was it passed down from a parent who never had emotional safety? Was it modeled by a teacher who labeled you too early? Was it implanted by society because of your gender, culture, or background? Most of what we believe about ourselves wasn't chosen. It was programmed. This is where you can change things because if it wasn't consciously chosen, it means it can be consciously rewritten. Your first step to freedom is awareness. So now that you know you've been wearing borrowed identities, you face a choice. Keep the costume on or start showing up as your main character of your own story. Step 2. The funeral for your former self. Sounds dramatic, right? Because it is, and that's the point. Ultimately, rituals, even symbolic ones, help us process loss and create emotional closure because they send a signal to the brain that this chapter is finished. So here's what you do. Write a goodbye letter to the outdated version of you, the one who carried those false identities. Speak to that version like you would a good friend. Thank them for their service, for surviving, for getting you here. Then, burn it, bury it, flush it, rip it up and toss it into the trash. Don't just think about letting go. You have to embody it. The brain needs more than just thoughts to believe change is actually happening. It needs evidence. And this ritual, it's your proof. This isn't about erasing the past. It's about honoring it and deciding that it no longer defines your future. Step 3. Reprogram with intentions. Once you've deleted old programs, now you need to install your 2.0 version. Psychologist Peter Goldwitzer discovered a habit rewiring trick. So simple it's genius. When X happens, I'll do Y. Because your brain loves patterns, this gives it a predictable roadmap to follow when challenges arise. So swap these default settings. If you would normally say, I always procrastinate, then swap it with, when I feel stuck, I'll get a 10-minute timer and I'll just start. Or if you would typically say, I panic in meetings, then swap it with, if my heart races, I'll squeeze my pen and speak slower. This isn't just positive thinking. It's neuroscience-based reprogramming. You're not just changing habits, you're overriding your behavioral DNA. Step 4. Your upgrade phase. Building the new you. Your brain is often referred to as being plastic. That means it's always rewiring. So it's important to be aware of how you are shaping it. This is where you create a full sensory immersion into your upgraded identity that you are wanting to align with. Dress like the version of you you're becoming. Speak with their confidence and surround yourself with content, people, and practices that match this elevated frequency. Identity-based habits stick longer than goal-based ones. When it becomes who you are, it stops being something you have to try to do and starts being what you naturally do. So if your future self is calm, grounded, abundant, and free, start practicing those thoughts, those habits, and that energy. This isn't about pretending, it's about practicing. Every time you speak up when you normally stay quiet, set a boundary where you usually fold, or own an idea you'd previously downplay, you're not faking it, you're rewiring your brain. Because neuroscience shows it takes 3 to 7 repetitions for a new action to start feeling like you. So keep showing up as the person you're becoming, and one day you'll realize you've stopped acting. Let's be honest. If you keep thinking the same thoughts, living by the same inherited rules, and repeating the same subconscious patterns, I think you already know where that path will lead you. More of the same, more feelings of being stuck, more pretending, and more living a life that may look good on the outside but feels bad on the inside. But what if today could be different? What if this is the moment you choose something new? Because here's the truth, you've been programmed. But now you know better. You can do better. If this hit home, it's not random. It's because you're ready. You're ready to let go of false narratives, rewire the patterns that held you back, and reconnect with the version of you that's been waiting underneath it all. You are not your programming. You are the programmer. And your new life, it starts now. Welcome to the real you.